My name is Megan and welcome to Pacific Yoga Fit. For today's practice, we are going to be doing a nice sequence that will warm up our hips, get a little bit of tension and stress released out of the hip joints. Our hips are one of the biggest joints in our body, so we tend to store a lot of emotions, stress, and things in this joint. So we're going to be focusing on letting that go today. This will be about a 20-minute sequence. So we are going to start on our backs. So go ahead and find Supta Baddha Konasana, which is a reclined butterfly pose. So your soles of your feet are going to come together to touch. Your knees are going to open wide. I like to just place my hands onto my inner thighs, rolling my shoulders down, and close your eyes. No matter what we're doing in our practice, we always start by connecting to our breath. So finding a little bit of length and texture to the inhales and the exhales. If you like building that internal heat, you can find your Ujjayi breath, which is that audible breath that we talk about in this practice. Going in and out through the nose. It's kind of like you're fogging up a mirror. Please open your eyes. Take your right leg, draw it into your body, interlace your 10 fingers on the right shin. So let the left thigh stay in this external rotation. That means the thigh bone is turning out. We're still in that butterfly pose on the left. And hug the right knee towards the right shoulder. Flex your 5 toes of your right foot back towards the shins. Relax the shoulders down away from the ears. And then turn the sole of the left foot to the mat. Draw your knee towards the sky. Take your right ankle on top of the left thigh. Interlace on the back of the left leg or onto the left shin, finding a figure 4 stretch. All 10 toes draw back towards the knees. So you have a strong flex in the foot. The left hip point, press it away from you, keeping the left side of the body long as you hug the left knee in. That right thigh rolls out and down. As we move through this practice, really focus on sending your attention, your breath, your energy to the hip space when you pause in these shapes. Release the grip. Let your right thigh slide on top of the left so that your legs are crossed. From here, you're going to reach down, grab for the outsides of your feet with your thumbs pointing towards your heels. The right thigh bone, right hip pulls away from you, and you're kicking your toes towards your head so that your shins become parallel with the wall behind you. Try to keep your tailbone rooted to the earth, finding that nice little release in the outer right hip. Release your hands. Take them out to a T shape. Press your palms to the earth. Give your hips a little shimmy to the right and let your knees fall to the left. So you're in a spinal twist with the legs crossed. Grounding the right shoulder down, you can also take the left hand, gently place it onto the outside of the right knee and give it a little release towards the floor. Bring yourself back to center. Give your knees a nice little hug in. And then Baddha Konasana, your soles of your feet We'll come back together on the floor. The knees will go wide and we'll take that sequence on the other side. If you feel like you have this sway in your low back, give your tuck of your tailbone so that the tailbone comes down to the floor. Left leg will draw in. You'll interlace your 10 fingers on the left and hug it in towards that left shoulder. I want you to think about you're drawing a little line along your low ribs, and this right thigh continues to stay heavy towards the mat. Left toes flex back, shoulders down. Release the grip. Turn your right foot to the mat, knee to the sky, left ankle on top. Reach through. Finding that right leg wherever it feels comfortable. What matters the most is that you can keep your shoulders to the floor. Relax them down and then hug the right knee in, and then notice if there's any shortening happening on this side. Let that right thigh bone, right hip crease pull forward, and then find the bend in the knee. If this is uncomfortable on the knee, you can always grab the back of the thigh. Give yourself a bigger than 90-degree angle on this leg. Again, feet are really active, and that left knee is drawing towards the top edge of your mat. Release your grip, let your left thigh slide on top of the right. Reach down, grab for the blades of the feet. Again, your thumbs point towards your heels. And then I'll give you guys a side view on this because I tend to notice a lot of my students do this pose incorrectly. So we want to draw the heels away from our sit bones. So we're kicking the shins parallel to the wall behind us. The feet are going wide. If this is too much and you're rounding in the upper back, slide your hands up your shins and then use this grip to kind of rotate the legs back. Keep your tailbone down. Release your grip. Again, arms go out to that nice big T shape. Hips shimmy to the left and your knees fall to the right. So your gaze is going to look towards the left thumb. Again, your right hand can come onto the left thigh, drawing that left knee towards the earth. Left shoulder is grounded. Return onto your back. Bring your knees into your chest. Cross your ankles, grab the shins to tops of your feet. You'll take a few rock and roll sit-ups. If this doesn't serve your body, you also have the option to just sweep your legs to the side. We're gonna find our way to high plank. Your hands will come forward and your feet will go back. If this is uncomfortable, feel free to just find a tabletop shape as well. Breathe here, find a little bit of engagement into the abdominals. The belly is drawing towards the back line. Lifting the front of the hip points, press the floor away. Breathe in. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Lift your hips. As always, we can find a little bit of movement in our downward facing dog. Walking out, bending into one knee and the other. Keep lifting your sit bones high. We want this long line of energy from the crown of the head all the way out the sit bones. Inhale, take your right leg high. We're gonna focus on a little bit of glute strength here. So that nice big muscle along the back line of the body. I want you to roll the outer right thigh down, press into that right heel. Breathe in and lift from the crease of the glute, the hamstring, so right along this back line. Lift the heel as high as you can. Breathe in, breathe out, come forward. Your right foot is going to step to the pinky edge side. If it doesn't land all the way, just take a hold of the heel and slide it forward. Drop your left knee down, top of the left foot releases. So both hands should be on the inside of the right leg. Our right toes are pointing forward for a runner's lunge or a lizard pose. Two ways that you can do this. You can stay on the hands, pulling your chest forward, or you can make your way to your elbows. You can also place a block underneath your elbows if it serves your practice. What is most important is we're keeping that line of energy moving through the upper body. So the chest is open, the heart pulls forward, and we have this right knee hugging into the right tricep or the right shoulder. We're grounding into the base of the right big toe, and then think about this little bit of traction, like I'm sliding my left knee forward and my right heel back. So I'm also engaged in the lower abdomen. If you're down on your elbows, come back up onto your palms. Find a half split, shift it back. Keep your hands on the inside of the right leg. So your hands can walk up. You can also place your hands onto blocks if you need a little bit more space to keep a nice flat back. Again, that traction underneath the right foot, like we're sliding the right foot back. Right thigh is active and the right toes are pointing towards the sky. Let your right hip, right thigh sink down. Slowly walk back into your palms, back into that right foot. You're going to sweep the right leg back, take it all the way across to the left edge. You may need to scoot your left knee in just a little bit, depending on how long your legs are. And then look over that left shoulder, see the right heel behind you. Let this right shoulder come forward and really press the right foot back. So you're creating this shape, this like C shape in the spine and this opening through the right rib cage. Release, bring the right knee to meet the left. Walk your hands forward, high plank, press into the top of the push-up. Hold here, full breath in, full breath out. Breathe in, breathe out, downward facing dog. Lift the hips, press your chest towards your thighs. Relax your head, make sure there's no tension in your jaw or your face. Shake it out. So same thing on that left side. Lift the left leg, press into the heel. Pull the inner thigh towards the ceiling, like there's this string drawing the inner thigh up. Crease of the glute, the hamstring, right along the back of the hip. Lift the left heel, press the floor away. Breathe in, breathe out, lift. Find an inhale, exhale with control, runner's lunge. Bring the left foot all the way to the pinky edge side of your hand. Drop your back knee, slide it back. Top of the right foot is to the earth. So again, we have those options on our palms or down to your elbows. Just keep this flat back, keep this space along the collarbones. And then also think about the shape of your cervical spine, your neck. Bottom of the ears, base of the skull, hug it up and in. So there's this little gentle tuck of your chin into your chest. Make sure that you do the same thing right to left. So if you did come down onto your forearms, please do that. Keep the space. Keep grounding into the base of the left big toe. All 5 toenails of the right foot are pressing down. Come back up onto your hands. Ardha Hanumanasana, that wide half splits, shift it back. Take your left toes towards the sky. Hug this outer right hip in. So we want to keep these hip points pointing forward towards the top of our mat. This left foot, we really draw it back towards the face. Watch the hyperextension in the left leg. Make sure the front of the thigh is active. So we always engage the opposite side when we're trying to find length to protect the joints. Pull your chest forward. Slowly come back into your left foot, bring your hands forward. Again, slide the right knee in if your stance is a little wide like mine, and then take your left foot all the way back over to the right. Press the heel away, let the left hip kind of drop down and the left shoulder come forward. Create space between the left low floating ribs and the top of the hip point. So that bony part on the front side of the hip joint. Slowly, bring the left knee back to meet the right. Take a round of cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, gaze up. Exhale, hug the belly to the spine, round your back. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in. And breathe out. Then go ahead and take a seat back, hips towards your heels. And then cross your ankles, bring your legs forward. Baddha Konasana, but this time seated. So same position that you did on your back. Your knees are wide, your heels are together to touch. But what I want you to do is I want you to slide your feet away from your tailbone. Kind of wiggle the fleshy part out of the way so your sit bones connect to the earth. And then what I want you to envision is that this third eye center, the space between your eyebrows, if you were to fold your body in half, it's gonna land right at the arches of your feet. I like to slide my hands underneath my ankles. Just be mindful though, this space right here. So we want to avoid the urge of rounding in the upper back. So if this action happens for you, place your hands on top, pull your heart forward, keep this nice wide space, and then start to pull your chest towards your toes. If you can maintain a flat back and fold yourself into like a half, please do that, but always again making sure that we're lengthening through the low back. The belly is drawing in to support the spine, and we're pulling our chest towards our feet. Again, bottom of the ears, base of the skull lifts up and back to keep the neck neutral. Gaze should be, your drishti, your gaze should be about out in front of your toes. And then go ahead and slowly rise up. Couple options on where we are going next. So you can take your right ankle and cross it in front of your left. Simply find Sukhasana easy seat, which is just right leg crossed in front. If you're doing that, your hands will walk forward and then they're going to walk to the left. You'll fold over this left leg, okay? If you're continuing on, your left leg is going to go straight. Your right leg is going to bend in, and you're going to take the bony part of your ankle to the outside. So we're setting up for Agni Stambhasana or fire log pose. Lots of different options depending on what level your body is at, how tight your hips are. So this is option 2. You're going to focus on rolling the right thigh down, okay? Feet are very active, similar to what we've been doing, toes towards the shins. You're going to sit up tall, focus on shifting your body weight forward and letting that right thigh stay heavy towards the floor. The final option is you're going to bend the bottom knee so that your shins are stacked one on top of the other. So that means if I was to take a garden stake, I would be able to pierce my knees and ankles together on both sides. Shins are parallel to the short edge of your mat. Now for some of us, this may look like this. You're going to be in that same thing where we're trying to shift the weight forward and focus on this thigh rolling out, okay? It's not a press down. We never want to forcefully push ourselves into a shape. So it's more about this external rotation, the roll out of the thigh. If the knees and ankles are all the way together to touch like mine are, you can crawl your hands forward just like the other people are doing in option 1 for Sukhasana easy seat, and you can walk your hands to the left. Two more breaths here. Walk your hands back to center, crawl yourself up. We'll do those options on the other side. So of course, option one is Sukhasana now with the left leg in front of the right. Sit up nice and tall, walk your hands forward and walk them to the right side. Nice little cue is to think about that space through this low back and the outer hip. So you're grounding the left sit bone to the earth and you're folding over the right leg. So this is option one, right? Option two is the right leg forward, the left leg bony part of the ankle kind of almost just outside the thigh bone. Sit up tall, feet are active, and then the roll out of the left thigh. So the knee is drawing out and down towards your mat. Sit up nice and tall. The final version of the fire log pose is our fire logs are our shins, so we're bending the bottom leg. Shins are parallel to the short edge. Another thing to think about is there should be a triangle shape with your two thighs and your two calves. You should not be able to see this bottom calf or shin in this cross of your triangle, okay? So the ankles and knees are stacked, feet are drawing back, sit up nice and tall. So you may notice, like me, we don't have the same right to left, right? So I have some stuff going on in my outer hip on this left side. So I'm going to sit up nice and tall, think about rolling the knee down, and I might stay here. If they're all the way together to touch, again, we have that option to walk forward and then crawl your hands away. Realizing I may have walked my hands to the same side. Sometimes it gets tricky, right? I'm mirroring you. I'm also not looking at students. So sometimes if you notice, I move my hands in a different direction on the one side. For something like this, we're looking for the hands moving away from the top leg. Walk your hands back to center. Walk yourself up. Take both legs forward and shake them out. Go ahead and scoot yourself towards the top edge of your mat, lower down onto your back. Draw your heels in towards your glutes. Wiggle your shoulder blades a little bit closer together. Press into your feet, bridge pose, lift the hips. We'll slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time. Keep your feet to the earth. Let your knees rock to the right and the left for a moment. And then knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice little hug here. Press the entire length of the spine into the earth. And then slowly lower your legs to the floor. Find your final Shavasana. Give yourself a little wiggle. Let your arms come by your sides. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. One more deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. And find your final resting pose. Let your body stay heavy to the earth. When you're ready with finishing out your practice, we'll always do so slowly toes. And rolling your wrists to your ankles. Moving your head from right to left. Bring your knees into your chest. Turn to the right side. Pause in a supported fetal position with your head on your bicep. And when you're ready, make your way to Sukhasana Easy Seat. Slowly press up. Sitting on your knees or with your legs crossed, sit up nice and tall. Bring your hands to heart center. Bowing your chin into your chest, taking these last few moments just to be grateful for this time that you've given to yourself on your mats. As always, it's such an honor to be your guys' guide. I hope you have a great rest of your day, whatever that looks like. Namaste.